Detrone did this.
I like that one.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Detrone Does It. Of course, I am Detrone, and I does stuff. And this week, I'm doing some stuff for the very first time. And honestly, I didn't even know I was supposed to do it. So this is my tankless water heater. It's a Navien tankless water heater. I've lived in my house for going on 4 years now. I had it built brand new, and it was my very first home. And I was unaware, and no one told me that you're actually supposed to clean your tankless water heater. Did you know? Well, I'm guessing since you're on this video, probably not, but you're supposed to clean it at least once a year. And if you got hard water, up to 2 times a year or more, depending on your given water situation. This will be the first time in almost 4 years that I've cleaned this thing. So it's probably very much due for cleaning. What I'm gonna do today is probably not be on camera very much. I'm gonna show you all the supplies that you need and the process that I've learned about doing prior to this video. And I'm going to share it with you. As always, I appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave me comments. I try to respond to all of them. If you have questions and I can answer them, great. Again, this is my first time doing this, so there might be some stumbles, but I did enough research, I think, to aid us both. All right, let's get started with what we need to be able to do this project.
All right, so first you're going to need a bucket. So now we got our bucket. You're going to need 3 gallons of distilled white vinegar, the 5% acidity. Don't go out and get the commercial grade stuff. And then you'll need a pack of washing machine hoses. Once you've got those things, you'll also need a submersible pump. Make sure you pay attention to the output size for the submersible pump. If you are like me and you get the wrong one, you may end up needing an adapter for yours. Then we're going to get right into the water heater. This is what mine looks like. Yours may look a little bit different. I'm going to tell you about some of the valves that you should see at the bottom of it. On your right hand side, your cold water open and shuts, your release, and your cold water in service valve. You've got a filter, your power button for the unit, the same with your hot water on the other side, and then there should be a yellow gas line or a line for your input for gas. So now what we're going to do is turn the unit off. So once you power the unit off, you'll then need to also turn off the gas for this unit as well. Once the gas is off, then you are going to turn off your cold water input valve. That's going to cut off the water coming into the unit. Same with your hot water valve. You want to turn that one off as well. Once those things are off, you're going to open up the release valve. Now, once you open this release valve and you turn the knob up top, which is your shut off, or your open and close, water is going to come out of here. So make sure you got a bucket ready and underneath, because you open up this valve and water is going to come dripping out. It's going to be the same thing with the hot water side, except the hot water will have more stored water in it. So to avoid having water drip everywhere, what you can do is open up the release valve and connect your red hose or either one of your washing hoses to that release valve before you begin to release the water. So before you open the top of that valve up, make sure you've got your hose connected, and then this way you'll be able to have water drip right out of that valve into your bucket waiting below, as opposed to dripping and splashing everywhere. So as you can see, after we open that valve up, you've got a pretty good flush of water coming out on the hot water side. It'll take a little bit to clear this line because there was hot water sort of sitting in the unit waiting to be dispensed. But once you've got that line connected and cleared out, you can allow it to drip empty while you use channel locks or vice grips or pliers to remove the filter on the exterior of the unit. This filter is supposed to catch any debris that's coming in that potentially made its way into the line. So clearing this filter is really important. You can either rinse it off or wipe it down if it's grimy. Mine actually looks pretty good, so I just rinsed it off camera and then put it back into the unit. Once you've cleared that filter, we're going to start our next part of the process, which is connecting our second hose to the release valve on the cold water side. Once you've got both hoses connected to the release valves on both sides, those hoses should be dangling. The red hose is already in the bucket because it's been draining water from the hot side. Now this is where my process might differ a bit from yours. I didn't pay attention to the size of the output on my submergible pump, and so I needed an adapter. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm fitting up an adapter so that I can connect my hose that is coming off of my cold water directly to my pump. You'll need that so that the pump can pull the vinegar up through your system. You can buy a pump that connects the hose directly to it. I just was unfortunately not paying attention when I purchased this submersible pump. You'll then place your pump in the bucket. Now you have both hoses in the bucket as well as your pump sitting in the bucket. And then you're going to begin to fill this bucket up with vinegar. This is a top view of what it should look like. Really asking why vinegar? Because vinegar is a natural cleaning solution and it's also not harmful. You don't want to put any chemicals into this process because it's going into your water system. This is just designed to clear out any of the buildup deposits that the process of bringing that water into the tankless water heater will create, right? So this is just a process to try to clean that water heater out without adding any chemicals that will inevitably end up in your water supply, right? Vinegar is a natural solution, so you don't have to worry about the kind of reaction to putting anything harmful into your water supply. All right, so now that you've got your bucket filled up with vinegar, you want to go ahead and turn on your pump. You should see the pump start working immediately. And that's what we got here is the pump is on. It is creating a process where the water is being sucked up through the blue tube, filtering its way through and then pouring back out into the red. And it'll continue to do that with the solution or with the vinegar until you're done. You want to let it run for 45 minutes to an hour, which is what you see here. I'm actually shutting it down. It's been running for that whole 45 minutes. At the conclusion of that process, there's a couple of things that you got to do. You want to close this valve up here at the top. You want to do that on both sides. Once you've closed the valve on the top, you'll go ahead and disconnect your hoses from both sides. This is where you are now ready to put your system back to the way you found it. Put your caps back on the water releases for both sides. Then you're going to turn back on your service line in valves. So that's going to be the bottom valve here on the blue side. Same with the bottom valve on the red side. It was a little stuck, so I had to give it a little bit extra elbow grease, you know, my thing. And then after you do that and you turn those back on or open them back up so the water can flow back into the system, you then want to turn your gas line back onto the unit. Now we're left with this solution, which should be a mix of vinegar and whatever was cleaned out of your system, which my system actually didn't look all that dirty after I let it run for an hour. Once you get that pump out of there, you can actually go and take this solution right outside and dump it. All that you're going to have in there is vinegar and the water debris. All of this stuff is natural, so it's not going to hurt your grass or your groundwater or anything like that by dumping it right out into your grass. As you can see, there wasn't a whole lot left over in my bucket as far as debris goes.
All right, turn the power back on, and that's pretty much it. That is cleaning out your tankless water heater. Definitely want to do this at least once a year. And like I said, if you got hard water, twice a year or more, or as directed by your tankless water heater. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please like, share the channel, subscribe to the channel. Those kind of things help small channels like myself. And if you didn't like it and you decide that you don't want to come back, you know what? I won't even be mad at you. Till next time, guys. Peace.